I'm really hoping my voice holds up for this, but I'm gonna try my best to not sound like a fucking crack.
Yeah.
Like crack
Almost before we start, dude, like, explain to chat what's been going on with your...
I mean, I've been sick for a fortnight, dude. This is just my life now. Every time I get sick, I'm sick for at least 2 weeks, but it normally will happen like this where I kind of feel like I'm sick, and then the next like 2 days I'm knocked on my ass, and then the next like 10 days after that, it's not like I'm actually sick. It's just the annoying part around it, like my head feeling congested or my throat being like this. And it just recently started happening where I lose my voice, but Wednesday, go out for Blackout Friday. I had like 2 cores, and then I just lost the ability to speak. I was just telling everybody that I was on my hot guy shit, raspy voice, And actually, I do. Maybe this will get us some female subs, but
Yeah, it's for real. That raspy voice.
yeah.
So
So
ladies love it.
feeding into that, though, the night wasn't anything crazy. I only had a few beers, and then I just couldn't talk, so we decided to go home. And drunk or not, me and Marissa always get DoorDash, so we're figuring out what we're getting on the way home. We get some McDonald's. And then when we're home, I think we throw on like House of Guinness, so we're just preoccupied. We're not looking at the phone. We didn't hear any like the doorbell ringing or like any notifications, so we just checked it, and the DoorDasher was driving away from our apartment. So I'm like, oh, it must have been dropped off. I go out there and it's not out there. So I get back in and we're calling her a bunch, and she's not answering. And then she finally picks up the phone, and we're like, hey, I don't think you dropped this off. And she was like, yeah, I wasn't going to leave your food out in the cold. If you wanted me to leave it at the door, you should have marked leave it at the door. And we were like, it is marked. I always have that marked.
Right.
Because I'm never trying to talk to my DoorDasher. And she's like freaking out. And she's like, no, it's not. Don't get smart with me. And she's like talking to me to Marissa. So I take the phone. I'm like, look, lady, like it was marked. Just bring the food back and drop it off. And then she was like starting to get aggro with me. And I was like, I wasn't trying to fight. I was like, I get it. I'll be outside. Just bring it back. We'll get it. It's no harm, no foul.
She say how far away she was at that point? Or no?
We could see she was like still in the neighborhood. And then, but she thought I hung up after that. But
it
I
takes
didn't.
10 minutes to get out of Joe's neighborhood, by the way.
True. But she thought I hung up the phone, which I didn't. And then I hear her go, keep on talking that dumb shit. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I can hear you. And then she hangs up the phone, and I go back in to tell Marissa, I'm like, dude, did you just hear that? This lady's being mean as fuck. And then I go back out to go get the food. I hear something hit against the side of the apartment, and I'm like, this bitch just threw my food. And I open the door, and she's sprinting back to her car, and I'm yelling at her. I'm like, hey, what's your name? What's your name? Because I was trying to make sure that was the DoorDasher sprinting away.
Yeah.
But then she just peeled out in her car and ran away. It made me so mad. So I get back in.
Did you hear like hit the window, or like what did it hit?
It just like, I mean, it didn't sound like she like whipped it at the wall. It sounded like she just like ran up and threw it on the porch, you know?
Just a toss.
But I go back in. I tell Marissa to start spazzing on the bot, all caps, unacceptable. This is not okay, all that shit. And then eventually just got to the point where we got a full refund. The seal was still on the food, and it was just macked on, so it was fine, and we still ate it. But I was like, dude, you guys need to fire this lady. Because in my mind, don't want to be presumptuous here, she was trying to steal it so she could eat the food.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Have you not seen that?
How long was she? I don't understand how long it was from her like giving up on you not coming to the door.
Must have been like once.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like it's one.
She probably like went up to it, like knocked once, and she was like, my food.
Yeah. Well, DoorDash is so easy to sign up for. You could legitimately just sign up for DoorDash, go get one order, take it home, and no repercussions. You just get free dinner that way.
But that's the thing. I've heard people talking about that on like TikTok or like Twitter or whatever, videos of Ring cameras where the DoorDasher will drop it off, take a picture of it, leave for a second, and if nobody grabs it, snag it and run away.
Yeah. I
think people are just doing it for unlimited money or unlimited food glitch.
Yeah, it is an unlimited food glitch. But speaking of unlimited food, dude, Thanksgiving, episode 23.
Filming this on Black Friday, Jordan episode.
It is Jordan episode, Black Friday. Those two things kind of go hand in hand.
Yep, they both share one very definitive characteristic with each other.
But no, as you guys can tell, new setup. We're trying to get used to holding microphones. A little foreshadowing, won't give away too much, but big things to come for season 1. Episode 1 of season 1 is dropping the first week of January, and we're excited, man. We're gonna have some upgrades for you. We hope the quality at an angle like this is better than what it was. So the camera's probably 3 feet closer than it used to be. We're just realizing like, our videos can probably be better quality if we do this.
For sure. And I will say it's season 1, starting at the beginning of the new year. We're going to do a lot of stuff that we hope takes the podcast to the next step. But let's not forget we're at 72 subscribers right now. So we're basically at 3/4 of the way to going to Toledo.
Yeah.
So I know we say it a lot, but tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your coworkers, roommates, subscribe to the pod, get us to 100. It would be super lit if like the second episode of season 1 was going to Toledo.
Yeah, I agree. Keep making the push and tell people you don't even know about it. Just start sending this, like you send those those chain text messages around Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's time. Like, you know,
Yeah.
Daddy's got a Thanksgiving wishing bone for you type message. You know, start sending our podcast around like those messages.
Yeah, or Chris preferred an idea of it, or if you're just like in a group chat with extended family, you can tell them too. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. And big things to come too. You know, like we're planning out other types of episodes. Like we'll probably have some additions to just the 60-minute type podcast. Like we've been doing the Nugget Run, and we've been training for a 5K.
Yep. We'll get into our running real quick though. Beer of the day today. We're drinking on some land sharks.
Yeah.
I guess very big in Florida, Chris had said. Just caught my eye at the local liquor store.
Yeah, it is funny because the only reason I said Florida is because that do you know who Jinxie is? He plays Rainbow Six, like a streamer. He drinks land sharks all the time, and he's from Florida. And now that I'm reading it, it does make sense. It's like they have literally fins up on their thing, and their logo is like a shark. Like it reminds me of Florida, but it's funny because it's brewed in St. Louis, Missouri. One of the most dangerous places on earth.
Is it?
Not to be.
Oh, actually, I think
Detroit.
it is more dangerous than Detroit.
It is. Not many places out there can say that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want that accolade, but
no, I've already almost drank half of my first one.
Okay, well, I have not tried mine yet, but today we're going to be rating it. This will make sense later on in the episode, but we're going to rate it on places to camp.
Yeah, places to go camping where you have to survive off the land for a week.
I don't even know. This doesn't even make sense, but
it's a good beer.
I'm going to go with Jamaica. I feel like I could bushwhack in Jamaica for a few weeks and survive off the land.
Yeah.
Based on this beer, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough question to ask. What I will say is it's giving me, I agree with your opinion, like it's giving me somewhere warm. It's giving me somewhere, my first thought was Maui, camping in Maui. Something that seems like it could be easy.
I'm pretty sure Maui's like an incredibly small island and 90% of its resorts.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you could be in the wilderness there.
It's giving camping right next to a resort in Maui where you can use all their resources.
You can just eat out of their dumpster and eat like filet mignon and lobster tail scraps.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could do that. That doesn't sound that bad.
But
let's get down to the brass tacks though. So me and Chris have been training like madmen. I know I said I've been sick for 2 weeks, but I've been running a fuck ton. Chris has been sprinting down the block like a madman.
Yeah, and it's funny because we're so far away from actually running. Like, when do you want to actually run?
It's like spring. I would say just whenever it's warm, obviously, because Chris said he doesn't have a problem with going outside in like a winter parka and mittens to go run. I can't do that. I need to be in at most shorts and a hoodie, or else I'm gonna have like my autistic flair showing up.
Yeah, Joe doesn't like when his undershirt gets sweaty, I guess.
No, it's ass, bro. I mean, not even that though. It's more so just for me, like I'm trying to think. I use over the ear headphones, and when my ears get all sweaty, just that feeling of like something on me while I'm super gross and greasy, it makes my skin crawl.
Yeah. So I don't know. Probably like when it gets warm next year is what I anticipate. So like March, April.
It all depends on what Punxsutawney Phil says.
True.
But we're both cooking. We're making good progress. Chris is on the beginner plan. I actually paid $20 to train for this.
Yeah, which that's what I was gonna ask you is like, sorry, are we gonna run this together? Are we like if we run in something, are we gonna run it next to each other, or are we gonna be like you're gonna try to outpace me?
I mean, I think it'll depend on our progress.
Are we racing or are we running it together?
I think as of right, we'll have to see what our progress is. I mean, it's always tough to pace because we're probably always going to be at different points. The one thing I will say, I think if we're together, it'd help with pushing us, and I think we would both complete it in a faster time as opposed to like if you're separated. Like if I'm like in front of you or if you're in front of me,
battle,
you'd probably be like, shit, like he's gonna beat me anyway, and I'm a little tired. Why don't I walk for a little bit?
Yeah.
So we'll see what we're pacing. Like I've already ran I'm running like a 5K every week right now. I'm just trying to work on my time. So we'll see how it goes. But I was picturing it. I think it would be cool to like kind of vlog style it and do it for the pod. So we'll have to see how we can do it. But almost if I could get like some sort of a setup, like almost if I can use that thing, like the tripod.
Yeah.
So when we're running, I can hold up the phone and kind of film us, not for like the entire time, but every once in a while, just capture a video of me and Chris.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of. They've just been coming up on my TikTok since I've been running more and talking about it, I guess, a little bit more. But I've been watching these people that run marathons and ultra marathons. This morning, I spent about 4 hours watching the Mob 240. You know what that is?
No. Isn't
200.
that the like ultimate kill streak in Modern Warfare 3?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
I was like, why do they call this thing a Mob? And then I started watching videos, and it's legitimately a 240-mile race. Like, it takes the fastest person did in 48 hours, and then the next fastest people after him were like 60 hours.
Bro.
Insane. But I was watching all those, and honestly, obviously that's a way longer one. It's a lot different. You're going through, like, you have time to stop and sleep and stuff. But even watching turkey trot videos, like, people just keep it in their front pocket or in their pocket, pull it out, take a video, and then maybe after you get halfway done and pull it out, take another video. I think for us, starting a 5K is really not that long. So we take one at the beginning, we take one at the end. Hopefully our significant others want to watch us and are halfway and then can cheer us on at some point. They catch a video, but it should be fun. I think we should run it together. I think we should be together when we run it.
Like pace each other.
Yeah.
I'm down. I mean, I'll slow it up for you for sure. I will say I'm very excited with my progress. One thing that has not changed though, because I've gotten to the point now where I can be running at a pretty good pace and I'm not like gas. I could still, like, if Marissa walked up to me, I could just talk to her pretty normally.
Yeah.
But regardless, I am shooting sweat out of every pore of my body. That every time I run, I have to pick a treadmill where there's nobody on either side of me.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
It's totally splash zone, dude.
Yeah, it does. Don't you feel healthier though?
Oh yeah,
I feel
because
good.
especially now that I'm drinking so much more water, I'm like, dude, that's like the law of physics. Like, water comes in, water's got to go out, bro. I gotta expel this.
A part of this. I mean, this is my theory I have for why you're sick recently and why I've been sick. Like, you remember, like a couple months ago, is like when I first started running, I got sick because I think my body wasn't used to me actually working out. It was just used to me going to the gym and like lifting and like not doing cardio. And then when I started doing cardio, my body was like, I don't know how to treat this. I'm just going to get sick. But now I'm through that first portion, and I feel like me running outside every once in a while and getting my body in the weather, which we're going to talk about today, foreshadowing being outside, but being outside in the weather has been very helpful for me to just be like, I can handle a little stuffy now. I can get rid of that thing. I can knock that to the side. But to my point, what I was saying is I think that I actually originally got sick because I was like, my body just wasn't used to processing running and like doing that and having that a part of the routine.
It could be, but I've been running for like 2 months now. Like, I was running for like a month before we did the Nugget Mile. Maybe now because I'm doing it more seriously, but I think I just have like a bad immune system, or I refuse to go to the doctor because I know as soon as I go there, they're going to be like, you're perfectly healthy. Stop being a baby. But I think maybe I just might actually have an ailment, something that needs to be resolved with medicine.
Yeah, I would recommend going to the doctor. The last time I was like, no, I think I can get over this. It was bronchitis. So I
trust my body to just naturally work that out, out of my system.
I did too. I'm also on the doctor hunt, not gonna lie. But what's up with calling all these doctors and you got to wait for 3 hours on the phone to schedule an appointment? Like, at that point, I'm giving up.
Just give me the advice over the phone, you idiot.
Yeah.
But no, it's nothing some a heaping scoop of sriracha and a 90-degree shower can't fix.
Yeah, dude.
That's the Joe guarantee.
That's been a part of my routine too. Is I'll go in the sauna. Honestly, before I run for 3 minutes, and then after I run for 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Just kind of loosens up the pores at the end of the day, kind of keeps you moving. But again, just to hype up the pod once more, episode 23, I'm here with my friend Joe, who is Blackout Wednesday's biggest nightmare.
I normally am. This week I wasn't, though. I mean, the only reason why I guess I was this year is because I was a super spreader.
Because he was harassing. Yeah, he's a super spreader and harassing DoorDashers.
No, that lady deserves to be in jail. I have no remorse over that, but I potentially was being a super spreader. I'm here with my friend Chris, who only eats candied yams during Thanksgiving dinner.
That is a good quality part, man.
That's the only thing you eat, though, bro.
You don't get this big by only eating candy.
Oh, I know that's how you get that big.
No,
plenty
dude,
of research.
You gotta eat everything to get this big. You can't just stick to the candied yams. Candied yams are just sweet potatoes.
Oh, with like cinnamon
Superfood. Sweet
sugar.
potato is a superfood.
No.
Not the way my mom makes it, but
Superfood, some 19 or what even was that? Like 1990s
Oh.
junk science, bro?
there is superfoods though. I don't know.
No.
What,
What is that? What's a superfood?
I think.
What makes it a superfood?
I think it's like I don't know. It just is like extremely healthy for you. It's like good carbs, basically. Or like
It's not a
good
real
food.
thing, bro.
I thought it is. I thought sweet potatoes. I thought there's like two more. It's like sweet potatoes.
Yeah, it's like broccoli and asparagus, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, dude, you eat this. You don't actually have to do a diet."
It's like you go to Panda.
Dude, it's like one of those
super
fad diets. It's like the Atkins diet, like intermittent fasting, blah blah. It's like it just goes in waves.
Yeah, true. But what was funny is we've had the same. We were talking about this yesterday at our Thanksgiving dinner. We've had the same Thanksgiving dinner for, I want to say, the last 5 years. Like, we usually don't mix up the sides too much. The recipes don't change too much. And what I've discovered this year is it's my stepdad's philosophy of, you've spent your whole life trying to perfect Thanksgiving dinner to get it to this point. Like, why are you adding a new dish? Why are you adding something different? Like, what do you need? Why do you need to try something new? Because my mom like fucked up the potatoes this year, dude. Not enough butter, not enough like milk. They were just too stiff. Not gloopy enough. Glorpy.
Mashed potatoes?
Yeah.
What's a stiff mashed potato? Like you
Like-
mean chunky?
Like you could cut it with a fork.
Ew. Okay, yeah, that's something went horribly wrong there.
Yeah. And my mom was like, do you guys all think we should add more butter and milk? And we were all like, yeah. And then she was like, I don't think so. And then we just ate them like that. And then everyone was complaining to Brian that he didn't make enough gravy because everyone's drowning the potatoes in the gravy because the gravy's
Make it
too
more glue.
stiff. Yeah. But it kind of got me thinking a little bit, and I have a funny story too, but like, do you continuously try to improve the recipe? Do you continue to try to add things? Like, when I have my family and I have a bunch of people at my house when I get older, I want to do like weird stuff. Like, I want to do, I don't know, turducken one year. I want to do deep fried turkey one year. For Easter, I want to try a beef Wellington at some point. You know what I mean?
The only thing I'll say with that is, I mean, Marissa's dad smoked a turkey for Thanksgiving. He said he had to wake up at 6 a.m. to do that. So, well, in theory, I think it sounds really cool. I don't think you'd actually want to do that.
Yeah, but at some point, it's more about like being able to tell people you did it.
Well, I guess if you're super vain and only care about the validation of other people. I mean, I've always thought like Thanksgiving, the holiday meals are perfect, bro. There's no
Yeah.
reason to change it. Like green bean casserole, stuffing, mac and cheese, turkey. That's all you need.
Yeah,
and
so
I could eat
that's why I was
5
yelling
plates
at
of
my
it.
mom because we didn't have mac and cheese this year.
That's sacrilegious.
That's what I said. I was like, "Where's the mac and cheese?" Like, we do the sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green bean casserole, and then turkey. And then we usually have ham too. Which this year, where everyone was like, "I don't even want the ham. Like, let's just cut it and divvy it out for everyone to take home." My grandma always gets a free one because she works at Honey Baked Ham.
We got a free 10-pounder.
From where?
Honey Baked.
Really?
Marissa has that sponsorship deal or whatever.
Oh yeah. You
and
brought
she
that
was
up.
like, "Congrats! Like you guys sold more than you ever have." Wink, wink. They're like, "You're right, we did.
Hell
Here's
yeah.
your payback: 10-pound barbecue
Yeah.
marinated ham."
You know, if she talked to my grandma. My grandma would say, "You should make some pea soup with that ham bone." Dude.
Oh, we're making some soup with that ham.
Yeah, you got to make some pea soup
We're
with
making
that
some
ham.
ham
bone,
and cheese
dude.
sliders, some soup, some ham and potato
That's my
soup.
favorite.
Probably.
After I was like, I told Therese, like, you got to bring the bread. You got to bring some bread over. I don't have bread. Because you got to make one of those, like you said, Thanksgiving burritos. I like the sandwich style where you just put everything in a sandwich, dude.
Sandwich is tough though. If you're putting like green bean casserole and mac and cheese up in the sandwich, it can get difficult. But in a wrap, it's all together.
Yeah, that's valid. So the funniest thing that happened at my Thanksgiving this year was my grandma. We're all done. We're like packing up to go bags for everybody to go home with some food. And I'm making my grandma's to go bag. And I'm like, hey, do you want any green bean casserole? Like, how much green bean casserole do you want? She goes, she doesn't even like answer my question. She goes, if I could eliminate one dish from the Thanksgiving dinner, it would be green bean casserole. I don't like it at all. And that was the only thing Brian made. And Brian's like, what are you What? Like, are you serious? And everyone there was like, "That's my favorite part. Like, that's like the best part of it." And my grandma was like, "I just don't like it." I just thought it was funny that she, just blurted out in front of everybody, like, "That was so bad. That was terrible. Like, I would get rid of it if I could. Don't
No,
give me any
it's not
more."
even the dish in general. It is whoever specifically made this one needs to stop making this. Staring down Brian. Yeah. All right, dude. We've been on Thanksgiving forever. Are we talking about the outdoor boys or what?
Yeah.
All right, so not much filling. Me and Chris really haven't done much. Thanksgiving wasn't too remarkable, but I have been absolutely obsessed with the outdoor boys. I think you said you had been watching them for a little.
Oh yeah. I had a good 3 year period of like in college, and he was making videos for a long time, but watching Outdoor Boys. There's also another channel called Deer Meat for Dinner. If you know, you know. But I've been watching those videos forever. Like, a small part of me has always wanted the ability to go outside, live off the land, catch, clean, cook what I'm going to eat for dinner, and like live in a hut full of wood and sticks that I made myself. Like, a part of me wants to just go out there and do it at some point.
I think as a man, you want to, and that's why so many of us are like attracted to it. I had never watched it, but I've heard people talk about it so much, and then I finally decided to give it a try, and it really is addicting.
Yeah.
But dude, I guess before we talk about like what we would do in that situation or anything like that,
Yeah.
the funniest part to me is he's doing the most masculine shit of all time, but he is just for sure the world's biggest nerd.
Yeah, he's a nerd. He's a twig.
He,
But
dude,
that's
he's
all
the
you gotta. That's
skinniest.
the coolest part about outdoor shit is you just knowledge is way more valuable than how strong you are or what you can do. It's almost a detriment to you because your body, if you're like a 300-pound bodybuilder, you're like used to eating a shitload, and now you're eating bugs, and you're like, I can't survive this.
Right, but like I mean, more so it's just his personality. I would picture a guy out there like that being like, "All right, now I'm gonna shoot this bear and skin it alive."
Yeah, like
and eat
Liver
it. And he's
King.
like,
Liver King.
right, yeah. But this guy's more so like, "Oh golly gee, guys, I'm super hungry and now I'm gonna eat some of these
Yeah.
super packed nuts because they have great caloric
Yeah.
content, and I burned a lot of calories today making this fort." And he just
Yeah.
sounds like the world's biggest nerd.
And he's always just making like beans in a pot. And
Yeah.
like, just like, I brought this and I'm gonna eat this small, tiny dinner that would never make me full.
No, but like he is smart. He does like the most calorically dense meals that he
Yeah.
possibly can. But so to your point, right? Like some of them are, I mean, they're all crazy, right? Because every one of his videos pretty much is in Alaska, where the weather is just insane, so far from civilization, and that's why he obviously has to do everything he's doing. But the the ones that really get me is when he's like camping in below 0 degree weather with no tent. Have you seen any of those where he just carves
Yeah.
a hole
You know
into the
how it was
ice?
on when you got here today?
Yeah.
That was the first one I started with, was like camping in Alaska with no tent, and then he has to like dig himself an igloo and then like pee in a bag and like sleep on the pee, and it's like warm. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right. I'm not gonna dog him for the rest of the shit, but like sometimes when he's doing certain stuff, and I'm like, okay, you have the top of the line tent, top of the line sleeping bag,
right?
like a really good stove thing that you can use. Kudos to you, pal, but you're kind of cheating.
Yeah.
But then when he really goes out there and he just has like a backpack and he's like carving in, he'll like shovel down
Yeah.
5 feet, make an igloo in the ice. He's
Yep.
like, this could collapse on me while I'm asleep. I could die. And I'm like, bro,
Right.
come on. Just all right, go
It's
back
like, no,
to the
you have a
tent.
family at home and they
Go
love
back
you
to
so
the
much.
tent. Outdoor boys don't do this.
And you also know how wholesome his family is too. So you're like, no, you have a family, man. Like,
What is Outdoor Tom
don't
gonna do?
this. Yeah, like, don't do this.
Yeah.
Which was a huge deal when you retired this year.
Oh yeah, he's starting to. Which we were talking about the fact that he said he was retiring, but then he was like, "All right, towards the end of the year, I might release a couple of videos that I never finished." And then he drops this one with a walrus, and he was always talking in his videos. He was always like, "Oh, I really want a walrus head.
Yeah.
I want a walrus head." And then he releases this one. He's like, "Oh, dead walrus," and then the video is just him sawing off this walrus head. For dude, it felt like 20 minutes.
It's like my brother Sean out in Alaska told me that there's a bunch of walruses, which that was a crazy video because like I guess they get like in the past they usually get like 2 or 3 wash up on shore a year. This year there was like 15, which is kind of concerning.
That was a day in heaven for him though.
Yeah,
He immediately bought out the
He
saw.
hopped on the jet and he was there and he was sawing that boy off. And he got it. He took it home, but the whole time he's
Yeah.
like, a bear could be tracking me down right now. Like they love these walrus heads, and They know I'm just carrying a walrus head back to camp.
He's paranoid, dude. He just wanted that walrus head all for himself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so moral of the story is go check out Outdoor Boys if you haven't. I'm sure most people have seen it. I'm definitely
Right.
late to the game. But like Chris said, it makes you want to do this. It makes you think about what you would do in that situation. I think I'm man enough to admit I could never do it in Arctic temperatures like that.
Yeah, so I brought a couple questions for Joe on the topic for us to discuss and kind of mull over. And I'm thinking all these
Mull it over.
Yeah.
I definitely
Mull
said that
it
way too
over.
loud in the mic. My bad. Still getting the spacing down of how far
Yeah,
to hold
we
this
got to
thing.
get used to it, dude. I think we're fine. I don't think we have to worry. I actually think the quality is going to turn out a lot better. I hope that you guys like it. Leave a comment, please. Tell us if you like this angle more, last angle more. We're really just trying to get better for you. But questions related to Outdoor Boys. First one I have is, so catch, clean, and cook. This one is less about living there for a long time, building a shelter, building whatever. Have you ever watched those, just his catch, clean, and cook videos where he just goes out, does a hunt, does a fishing expedition, catches it, cleans it, cooks it, all in one video? Have you ever watched those?
Yeah.
What would be your dream catch, clean, and cook?
Dream or what I think I could do?
Like, no, like if you had a guide that was helping you, what would you pick to do? What would you want to do?
Honestly, that's a pretty tough one. I would choose some sort of like an exotic fish, probably maybe like swordfish.
Yeah, we really. I was thinking the same. Like you go out in the sea, you do like a swordfish or like, I mean, I don't know if you can eat a stingray, but you go, you catch something crazy out at sea, you bring it back. Like I agree, nice weather, good vibes on a boat. Like it's more funnier with like a
Yeah.
crew.
It's like most shit you really wouldn't want to eat. There's a reason why we don't eat most things.
Yeah,
But like I mean, I feel like fish, most of it is going to be relatively good.
yeah.
And then kind of back to your point, you could say, "Oh, I've had swordfish."
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. It's some deep sea fishing expedition, which we could always go on, dude. Like we make it big. Joe and I'll go deep sea fishing. We'll catch, clean, and cook.
And that's another thing that almost feels like cheating to me. You just have like these massive rods and you just set it out and then you finally get one. You like affix it to your body and have like 30-pound weights hanging off of you so you don't fall in.
Yeah,
You're
but
like,
it feels like you go. It's cheating until you go 3 times and you don't get anything, and then you're like, all right.
imagine
I
going
wanna
fishing
cheat
in the
now.
entire whole ass ocean and not catching a fish. You'd have to be so bad at fishing. There's like a billion fish in there.
Yeah, the other ones that were cool that I saw, I've seen him do, and then I could be mixing this up with the deer meat for dinner guy, but I've seen them do like alligator. I've seen them do boars. Like boar hunting is crazy. Them boys like making some riots, bro. They got lots of hoopla.
That is the ultimate cheat code though, because like when you go boar hunting, or at least the ones I've seen, you're up in a helicopter with an assault rifle and you're just mowing
Yeah.
them down.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't seem that hard.
When
That's how we killed the Viet Cong. I mean,
no, he did it with like a rifle or something.
okay, like yeah, if you're doing it in the
Yeah.
wild, then I respect that. But what I picture boar hunting as is like most people they're up in a helicopter with like in Black Ops 1 when you get that kill streak and you'd be up in the attack helicopter and you'd slide
Yeah.
open the door and you'd have that machine gun.
Yeah.
That's how they mow down boars.
Yeah.
That's not even hunting, bro. You're just committing warfare on
Yeah, it
these
is basically
wild
like
pigs.
You're just inducing warfare. But yeah, I agree with you. I think deep sea fishing will probably be one of the better ones. Now, here's another question. Realistically, what outdoor scenario do you think we could complete? Like, we go out, I'm not saying in the winter, but like in nice weather, Michigan, up north. We went to school at Central. There's a lot of land up there. We go out in the woods. Like, what scenario are you thinking that we could complete? Like, how many nights do you think we could stay for?
What do we have?
I think we have everything.
Is it like
we
one of those
want.
shows where we can choose like 3 items, something
Yeah,
like
we
that?
have no food, but we have shoot, I don't know about 3 items. We have all the necessary gear, dude. We have tents. We have like I won't say a lighter, but maybe we have like fire making assisters, where we have to like get it
Flint
all.
and steel.
Right.
See, well, the biggest problem and all it boils down to is we don't know anything about making clean water. We both have the understanding of if it's moving water, that's generally safe to drink.
I thought if you boil it, it'd be no.
Yeah, no, you can boil water and then it's pretty much good to drink.
Right. That's what I thought.
So yeah, I guess we would be relatively fine on water. But as far as food,
Well, like I'm saying, like we could bring a pot, but no food.
okay,
If that makes sense. Like we could have all the necessary tools and everything we need. We
Well-
just don't have food. And
Water's the big one, but we would have no idea what to eat, and we would not be able to catch food.
yeah, we would have to. It would be spending all day just trying to catch food.
We wouldn't be able to.
I know. Well, that's like we'd
We
have
have
to
no
rely on
experience.
fishing.
So honestly, I think like let's say northern Michigan in late summer, early fall when it's like decent weather out, I think we could survive like 6 days. But we would be incredibly hungry.
Yeah, but at the end of the 6 days, we'd be like going to the hospital.
Right. Yeah.
I agree. I don't think we could last very long.
We
I
like
think
everything else I think we'd be fine with. We have a tent, we wouldn't get killed by anything, and we could find wood for fires and all that shit, but like we would never catch an animal, and we wouldn't I don't think would you have enough confidence to even try eating any sort of like plant life or anything?
not necessarily plant life, but like I would just be so hungry after like day two. I'd be like, let's just kill a squirrel. Did you ever see the? Oh,
How would
excuse
you
me.
catch a squirrel, bro? Like if I put you outside
The
right
other
now.
guy I watched does these squirrel traps, and they're like little stick things that with string on the end, and like they like fall on them and kind of like catch them.
You think you could make that?
No, I think I would for sure be like, Joe, you set up camp. I'm gonna go fishing right away.
Are we
I'd be
bringing
like,
fishing poles?
yeah, I think we
Oh,
could
well,
bring a
that's
fishing
so
pole.
different. Yeah, if we're bringing fishing poles.
You know, my
At that point,
first-
then yeah, I'm just gonna bring a gun and
my
fucking shoot a
only
cow.
ever catch, clean, and cook experience. I was up north when I was younger, and we went. They had something called a trout farm, and do you know what that is? It's just two little ponds up north. It's literally just two little ponds with millions of trout in there, and they don't even give you a fishing rod. They give you a stick with a string on it with a hook, and you put like a piece of hot dog on it or something, and you throw it in there, and then when you feel one on, you just run back the other way.
Yeah. It's
And
yeah.
we caught it, we cooked it, we ate it, and it was like the best fish I've ever had because I caught it, even though it wasn't legit.
Yeah, that hardly counts. It's like I mean that's like the old expression shooting fish in a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
They've no you don't even need bait. You just throw it in there and you just latch onto something and just rip it out of the water.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think I agree with you. I think we're probably 1 week tops. But we would do research before we prep. You want another one?
Yeah, I'll grab one.
But no, I think the last question for you on this topic, it's kind of just a funny question to be honest with you, is where do you think he goes on vacation? Where do you think the outdoor boys guy goes on vacation?
I don't think he does. Well,
You think his vacation is these trips?
maybe now he goes on vacations, but he was saying in his retirement video that he has made a video a week for the last 10 years. And every video takes about 70 hours. Because, I mean, picture what he's doing in his videos.
Yeah.
So
true.
I don't think he has the time to go do anything. It probably is hell. I mean, dude, he said he's like in his mid 40s.
Yeah.
That is so much work. You're putting your body through hell.
Yeah, that is true.
Dude, even if you started off enjoying it, now he's doing it strictly for money. If I was him though and I was going on vacation, that'd be in shit. I'd go somewhere warm.
Yeah, but like, would you not do that strictly for money? Like it's that or corporate America? I'd rather do that.
No, I mean, I guess if I had that skill set, I
Yeah.
would. But like, I mean, it makes sense that he quit. You don't think he has enough money? He has like 40 million subscribers and was getting like 30 million views. I
Yeah.
guarantee that guy's got millions.
Oh yeah, 100%. And his kid's set too, and like it's awesome to see. Like,
His
it's
kid's
a
making
dream.
videos now.
And like one of my girlfriend's friends, boyfriends that I've met, does this. He has a channel where he does his own videos. He's from Oregon, and he like, I don't know how he met his girlfriend in Michigan, but he moved to Montana, like lives on a ranch and like did those videos, and then he was eventually like, dude, I wasn't making enough money, so now I do like a job. I have like a blue collar job and do that on the side, and I was like, that's crazy, but
Yeah, kudos. I couldn't do it.
that's why I'm saying I was like,
I'm not built like that, but I will watch him and think to myself,
I
do
could,
that.
I could,
I
do
could do
that. Exactly.
Oh, I just
That's
gotta
like
show
the
him.
best. The best part about those videos is you watch it and you go, yeah, that's looks pretty easy.
He makes it look easy.
And I'm always like, I would be gassed by the time I got up.
Yeah, I would be throwing up and like my fingers would be falling off. Makes no sense. It's like negative 20 out, and he's like, "Ooh, I should probably start a fire."
Mm-hmm.
I've been outside all day.
The other thing that's cool too is like he has so much knowledge now. Like when I was watching the walrus video, he's like, I really need to increase my whale knowledge. Like I don't know about whales enough. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like that's what you've resorted to? And then you're watching other videos. He's finding 10 different fossils in a video, and he knows what all of them are. And you're like, this is awesome. It's cool.
No, that is sick. Kind of segueing off of the Outdoor Boys, it really made me think of one of my favorite stories of all time, the ship Endurance with Captain Ernest Shackleton going down to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, I didn't know about this till Joe brought it up to talk about, but I've done my research. I know a little bit about it. 1900s, 19 like
14.
14. Yeah, I was gonna say 16 around. It was the 1910s, but 1914. Um, you should take the lead on storytelling, but I it's basically some guy that was like he got beat to the North Pole or to the North Pole or the South
South
Pole,
Pole, South Pole.
got beat to the South Pole, and then was like, screw it, I'm just gonna run across Antarctica. Like I'm gonna beat them and show them that I can do this better and walk all the way across Antarctica.
Not quite, but kind of.
Well, sail and travel, I guess you could say, is probably better.
I'm actually not fully sure where AI got that rendition of things from. The way I understand it, which a little bit of backstory on this, I did read the book on endurance a while ago. It's a very good story of like survival and human perseverance. But and then I watched a follow up video just to jog my memory on it. My understanding of it was Ernest Shackleton went on an expedition before this to reach the South Pole that was failed. The
Yeah,
point of this trip with the ship Endurance was also failed. And then one more expedition went after this without Shackleton, and they did reach the South Pole. But when they got there, they saw a flag planted in there from like Sweden or something, and they realized that they had gotten there 20 days before they had gotten there.
yeah,
So,
right. It was like sort of like what ChatGPT was telling me, it was a big ego thing because my whole first questions were like, why did this guy want? Why was this guy traveling? Why was this guy expediting? What was he looking for? What was he doing? And it was really not to explore new land. It was just like why people run ultra marathons.
well, I guess, yeah, but it was like the same thing as like summiting Mount Everest, right? Like it is
Yeah,
just like it was sponsored by England, and it was just like
yeah,
it's almost like the moon race, right? Like who can be the first to do this? You know what I mean?
hmm
But like I said, Ernest Shackleton, he was the captain of this expedition. He had went on one trip before that was failed, and kind of similar thing in this story, but not as bad. They kind of like failed, and after a month were able to make their way back.
yeah,
This one, it was the most advanced wooden ship basically of all time. It was like super reinforced, and right when they were about to go in 1914, it was like a few weeks after Archduke Franz Ferdinand was shot. So like World War One was cooking up, but then the Queen was like, "Nah, you guys can still do this." I thought that was so funny. It's like, yeah, it looks like everything's gonna go to shit, but I'll still fund this trip down to Antarctica. So I thought this was funny too. The ad he put on the newspaper to get his crew said something like low wages, days full of darkness, little rations of food, and return to civilization uncertain, or something like that. And that was his ad to get his crew, and he had like no problem getting people to sign up for it.
yeah.
Everyone's like, "Yeah, that sounds
Well,
sick."
wasn't it only like 30 people?
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't much.
Yeah, which I also thought was funny. It's just 30 people that also were like down to be led by this guy.
Well, I mean, dude, think about it. Would you go if you had the chance to
Yes, yes,
do
yes.
something
This
nobody
is
had
what
ever
this
done?
is like free. Hey, do you want to go on a trip with Outdoor Boys for 3 months longer?
Except this was 100 years ago, and their technology was shit. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, they're sailing down there, and I think it said that they were still like 100 miles away from Antarctica, and they got a bunch of bad weather, so ice sheets started forming, and it just basically encapsulated the ship. So
Right.
the ship got stuck, and but they were on an ice sheet, so it was moving. Like
Yeah,
Antarctica
the
obviously doesn't move, but this ice sheet
GPT was
was.
explaining it as 30 people on an ice cube for 30, what was it, 30 days or 3 months?
About 3 months.
Yeah.
So actually, it was like kind of longer almost, but so they kind of get stuck in this ice ship and they're trying to like chip away at it. But the problem was when they sailed down there, which is also like dumbass, old
Right.
100 year ago
Right.
line of thinking. They
It's
went
almost like back in the day, people used to just think about what they needed to bring while they were on their way to there. They're like,
well.
oh, it'd be nice if we would have had this and that and this.
The rations actually weren't bad. They had a shit ton of rations, but the stupid decision that they made, the hemispheres have different seasons
Yeah.
and it's flipped like that. So they went down there. Basically by the time they would have been arriving in Antarctica, which I don't know if this is smart or not, it seems stupid to me. They were getting there right when it was leading into Antarctic winter. So they
I
basically like
didn't know that.
when their ship got stuck in this ice sheet, they were like, okay, all we have to do is wait like 3 months until it
Yeah,
turns to spring, and then the
yeah,
ice will break apart and we can keep going. And that's what they decided to do. So
yeah.
first of all, I thought that seemed like the stupidest time to go down there, and then they wait 3 months, and during Antarctic winter, it'll go full days without any sunlight. So picture 30 guys, you're stuck out there
That's
on
tough.
a ship. I guess they said they like kept sane by running classes or
Yeah,
playing cards, and like I guess everybody was pretty upbeat still,
that's
regardless
what
of the
that's what
circumstance.
I got from it too. Is it seemed like what was the main guy's name?
Shackleton,
Yeah, Ernest Shackleton was
Ernie Shack.
Ernie Shack was eventually studied as like you should be a leader this way because he kept really good morale the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He made sure people were like I guess bought into continuing the journey and like still going. And he was very big on like no one's left behind. Like somebody like if somebody's hurt, we're all gonna help and we're all gonna pick up the dead weight, which is a great way to be a leader.
Yeah, a little bit later into the trip, he set up when they ended up leaving the ship. I got
Mm-hmm.
well, I'll just once they got past the Antarctic winter and the ice started breaking apart, they thought they were going to be good. But
Yeah,
because the ice was shifting so much, it crunched the ship to a point where the ship was unusable anymore. So
right,
they ended up getting all their rations out of the ship, and then they had no ship anymore. They were on this ice sheet with 3 lifeboats, basically, and all their rations and
right.
their sled
And
dogs and
then didn't
stuff.
he take a lifeboat?
Well, so they basically like carried the lifeboat, and their thought was the ice sheet is shifting, and their navigator thought that it was shifting kind of close to or in the direction of Cape Horn in South America. So
Mm-hmm.
they thought if they just kept on drifting closer and closer, they can get the lifeboats out and go over
Yeah,
there. So that was the plan. But they tried to get to the edge of the ice sheet so that they could launch the boats from there. And that's kind of going into your point about him being a great leader. When they set up camp with the tents and all that out on the ice sheet, he paired people up. He would pair up like somebody that was being a Debbie Downer, talking about, oh, we're gonna die on this ice
yeah,
sheet. He'd pair him up with one of the upbeat guys, like, no, guys, we got this.
yeah,
And so he would lift the morale of the other guy.
yeah,
And so that was like an example of him being a good leader in that sense.
yeah,
But they realized eventually that the ice sheet had stopped moving, so they couldn't kind of just use it, as like
right.
a pseudo boat over to where they were going. So they end up launching the boats and finding another ice sheet that they take camp on, but that one was a little bit too volatile. It was breaking apart and stuff. They said that they felt like shifting in the ice, and they packed up all their stuff. And like as soon as they packed up all the stuff, a hole formed right where Shackleton's tent was like 2 minutes before that, and all the ice fell into the ocean. It was crazy, bro. And
Yeah.
they're just in the middle of the
So
ocean
then,
on these ice sheets.
so then, long story short, they completed it, right?
So let's not skip ahead here. They're on this ice sheet, and there's 3 different spots that they can go,
Yeah.
but they're all at like the closest one is 500 miles away. It's like I forget the name of the first two, but the third one was called Elephant Island, and it was a whaling spot. And he decided because of the direction of the wind, that was the best place for him to go, because it would just kind of naturally take him there, I guess. But it was the furthest one away. It was 800 miles away. So they all go out on their boats, like picture like tiny, wooden life raft boats, and they're on the most dangerous part of the sea, and they make it 800 miles to Elephant Island. All
Yeah,
three of them.
yeah, it doesn't even make sense how that's possible, but and this is very related to the story we're about to talk about after this, being on
But
a lifeboat. But yeah,
yeah, so they get to Elephant Island though, but like Elephant Island's not inhabited. It was just the first time that they had touched ground in like 6 months or something like that. And they kind of quickly realized that nobody's ever going to find them there because
right,
nobody ever goes to Elephant Island.
yeah,
So that's when Shackleton tells the boys, he's like, all right, you guys stay here. I
right.
forget
I'm
where.
gonna go get what I don't know what he's even getting, just more rations.
No, he was going to go get help. I forget where he went after that, the name of the place, but he took 4 other crewmen. He went hundreds of more miles while everybody else waited on Elephant Island. And like due to the severity of the weather and everything, it took him like 2 months to finally get to this place miraculously. He gets
Which
there.
is always so funny. This is just like Roanoke, what we just talked about, like
Right.
him just leaving everybody there, and then like this guy actually pulled through though.
Right. So, dude, he finally gets to where he was going. He's climbing across these like mountains,
Yeah.
and they said in like 2011, like modern day explorers with all their gear did the same path as him, and they were like, "There's no way he should have been able to do this." And they finally pulled up to like this whaling station, and he's like, "Yo, check the tag. I'm Ernest Shackleton from that expedition." He's like, "Holy shit, what?" He was like, "My crew is over at Elephant Island. You guys got to go save him." But like the weather was really bad, so it took him like 3 more months to finally get that shit back there. The
That's crazy.
crew that he left was alone on Elephant Island for like 4 months.
Yeah.
So the boat finally pulls up and they're like, "Holy shit, dude! Ernie pulled through.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
brought the boys back."
Which is, at least from ChatGPT's explanation, is like everyone was still hype. Everyone was like, "Yeah, like
Oh yeah,
let's go, we're getting saved." I mean, you would be happy, but I feel like nowadays people would be pissed. People would be like, "Oh, I can't believe this guy dragged me out here."
yeah, probably. But yeah, so like I mean, that's like the story of how it happened and how he ended up saving everyone. But there were like a bunch of health complications. Like a dude had a heart attack. Everyone had frostbite. People were malnourished and all that
Yeah,
shit. But like they still kept their morale high and all that shit.
yeah.
And whenever they were on these boats on the open water, keep in mind it was the most dangerous stretch of ocean they could have been in, and there was like 30-foot waves. It's a miracle they got through any of it. But their boat would take on so much water that their sleeping bags were soaked with ice water.
Oh
They
my
couldn't sleep.
god,
They would have to bail it out, and they would have to chunk off ice
that is
from the
brutal.
side of their boat so that their
That's
boat wouldn't
brutal.
sink.
Brutal.
There is no way they should have been able to survive that. So anyway, Outdoor Boys kind of reminded me of that. The book I read on it, it's called Endurance. It's a good book, but like Chris said, I mean, it's a great example of everybody nowadays is just a gigantic pussy,
Yeah.
and you should be thankful for what you got because
Listen to your grandparents
those
at
boys
Thanksgiving.
survived.
Listen to your grandparents at Thanksgiving when they tell you about how they used to walk to the liquor store. Listen to them about that stuff. But really, the next thing is anti-family. It's about the Carmen family deaths. This is like number one Netflix documentary on
Anti-family.
I mean, it's pretty anti-family.
It is. I mean, it's a story of deceit, lies, betrayal.
You don't know who loves each other. You don't know who hates each other.
Well, no, you know who hates each other. The entire
So
fam turned on
it
the
is.
boy.
It is number. Was it number one?
It said
when
number
you watched
6
it?
when I watched.
Okay, so it was number one when I watched a month ago. Number 6 now it's dropping. Well, we're gonna bring it, revive it, and it's gonna get popular once we talk about it on our podcast again. So, Carmen family deaths. We'll try to. We got about 10 minutes, so we'll try to keep the explanation short, and then we'll theorize afterwards. And it sounds like Joe and I disagree with what went down, but
the documentary kind of explained it in like a weird way. Do you want to go chronologically what happened in the documentary or in like real life timeline?
probably real life timeline.
Okay. So I
That's what
mean,
I'm
yeah,
thinking.
just starting. What just to give you guys like the three main characters in this. Nathan, the son, the autistic son.
Yeah, he's autistic.
His mom was her name Linda?
Yeah, Linda.
His mom Linda, who was the daughter of
Grandpa John.
the patriarch of the family. His name's John.
Yeah.
And it's a big Greek family, and he was kind of like a businessman. He had come over here and made his killing.
Had a lot of land, had a lot of property.
A lot of land, a lot of property. Made his killing on franchising, building different businesses.
$40 million worth of land and property.
Right. So he built basically this empire. He had 4 daughters, Linda being one of them, Nathan being the first grandson, and then another player in the story was his twin sister's son. Forget that guy's name, but he was also kind of involved.
Yeah. And let's just say Grandpa John was old, and we were kind of talking about this before we recorded. Just, it's funny how old people have their beliefs and they stick to them, man. Like, you got to give them credit for sticking to what they believe in. But Grandpa John didn't believe in autism, and he was sort of like, I guess, discouraging his mom from giving him all this treatment, and kind of always like, no, he doesn't need that. He just needs to go fishing. He just needs to do this, and like, he'll be fine. He just got to go do this, which nowadays we know it's not the actual correction for it. But back in the day, that's kind of what happened.
So this is the part that got me. His twin sister, like I said, she had severe dementia, and back then when they would treat mental illness like that, that's when they would do like shock therapy. They would try and shock the
Yeah.
illness out of you, or like basically they would just torture you,
Yeah.
which would obviously make it significantly worse. So that was the perception he had on these kind of things, which is why he did not want Nathan to be involved with them at all.
Right.
But that just kind of goes in the whole story about the different forces in my mind that were acting on Nathan, making him think different ways. He had his mom that was really trying to get him all the help as much as she possibly could, get him in the right spot to help with
Right.
his autism, while his very wealthy uncle, or sorry, grandfather, was going against all of that, telling him, you don't need any of this. You're perfectly normal. And
Right.
then obviously he is autistic, and it's kind of
Right.
like, what perception is he going to form off of that?
Yeah. Which I agree. It's you kind of all got to be on the same page with that stuff if that's the case. But yeah. So fast forward. That's when he's a
Mhm.
kid. 2013.
A little bit more like backstory. So yeah, like leading up into that, they made it very clear that the family dynamic was very hostile.
Yeah.
It was like John was incredibly controlling.
Yeah.
He made everyone do what he wanted them
Yep.
to do. He was physically, verbally abusive to everyone.
Kind of gave
And-
people jobs almost to make
Yeah.
sure he knew what they were doing.
You do what I tell you
Yeah.
you're gonna do, or else you have no more money.
Yep.
Right. So everyone was just doing
Used
John's
to getting
will.
literally $10,000 a month
More, 100,000
Yeah.
a month.
just to be his
Each
son
one of the
or
daughters.
his daughter, but like kind of help out. And then if you didn't do what he wanted, then it was a year cut off.
So this is a big part of kind of what goes into this story. Everybody was doing very well while John was alive. So a monetary motive was kind of unclear because everybody was making $1 million a year just from him
Right.
being alive, right? So
Right.
like you theoretically don't benefit from him dying, but that's going into John is found one night with they described it as like a very grotesque, like very
Yeah.
large caliber weapon.
He got shot in the head with a
blown hole
rifle.
off his head.
He got shot in the head with a rifle. The last person to see John was Nathan.
The day before, they went out to go get dinner.
Yeah, but it was like the night before. And
Yep.
this happened at night.
They went to go get dinner, and Nathan said that it was very cordial. It was nice. He loved his grandfather, and then that was that. And then he had to meet up with his mom that night for a fishing expedition that left at 3 a.m.
Yes.
Nathan said that he got held up at his apartment, and then he ended up arriving to the rendezvous with his mom 1 hour late. And his mom called him several times. He didn't answer. He said that he got lost on his way over there, and that's why he arrived late to the.
Whoa,
to the
whoa,
point.
wait. No, his grandpa John got shot 3 years before they went on the fishing.
No, it was the same thing. When his grandfather got shot, that was like their alibi for that night. They were going on another fishing
I'm
expedition.
saying that was. Oh, yes.
So yeah, him and his mom had
Yes.
a planned fishing expedition the night that grandfather John got shot. And so Nathan got dinner with him. He said he was at his apartment, and then he went to go meet up with his mom.
Right.
He got lost, and that's why he was late to meeting up with his mom that night. And the neighbors said that they heard a large bang sound that night
Yeah.
at 2 a.m. And there was video evidence showing that Nathan was at his apartment at 2 a.m.
Correct. Which is kind of weird.
I mean,
Wait.
that's why I think he's innocent. So at that point, John's dead.
Got a lot darker.
It did. It did get dark. But so at that point, John's dead, and they're checking everyone for their alibis, right? So Nathan seemingly checks out. He's the last one who had seen him, but he had his fishing trip with his mom. His mom was accounted for. Also, her alibi checked out. They're checking out the entire family, as you do when somebody has a large inheritance.
Right.
But everybody gets
It was
cleared.
questionable. I will say, like everyone was sort of like, "Oh, it is weird that Nathan was the last one to see him."
They framed it this way. So yes, but this is when the entire family turns on Nathan, and the other three sisters are all, and John's sister's son, all four of them are all very convinced that Nathan's the one that had done it, even though he was pretty much clear with his alibi and he was never arrested. So
Right.
I was telling Chris this off camera, but obviously, like, when 90% of the people on the show are people that think that Nathan did it, it's going to be slanted and it's going to provide information to you in a way where it makes it seem like he did it.
Right.
So I think that is misleading. Just keep in mind, this kid's autistic, right? So like it shows you a lot of his interrogation videos and stuff like that. And obviously he's
Which
talking very,
no emotion, very.
he's autistic.
Yes, this happened.
He's
My
talking
mom is
very
dead. My
clinically.
grandpa's dead. Yeah.
He's talking very strategically, but that is just how functioning autistic people work like that.
And he's also like very smart, is what I realized. Like
That's how autistic people are, bro.
like very very smart. Like he would be like his answers in responses to the detectives were very impressive. It was very much
Mm,
like that question doesn't make sense. That's a leading question. Like
right.
rephrase it and ask me again. And I was like, I would have no clue to say. You know what I mean? It was just
Well, you
I'll
got to
point
keep in
that out too.
mind.
He's
So, like,
very very smart in that situation.
right, like, yeah, autism generally leads itself to you being like, very
Hyper fixated or
hyper
almost, and
fixated, like,
he if he did it, maybe he was hyper fixated on crime, maybe he was hyper fixated on how to get away with it. Research.
no,
That's my theory.
no, he wasn't.
We'll get there.
Wrong. But no. So also, you got to keep in mind his grandfather funded him going to very good schools and to college, so he
Right.
was just an educated person.
Yep.
So we'll just kind of fast forward because a lot of it is just them focusing on that. But then after that, for the next 3 years, so there was 3 years in between that, everybody was still like pissed at Nathan, pissed at Linda because they thought that Linda was shielding Nathan,
Yeah.
and protecting him. And then everybody was telling Linda like, "Oh, you got to be careful. You got to turn him in, or else he's gonna kill you," basically.
Right.
And then they go on a fishing expedition one of these days. The boat sinks. Linda never gets found again. Nathan gets found 7 days later on a Chinese kind of junk ship. Randomly finds him
No,
on
it's
a
not a
life
Chinese
raft.
junk ship. It's a life raft from their boat.
The ship that found him was a Chinese junk ship.
Yes. But he was
He
on
was
the
on a
life
life raft
raft
from
his
their boat,
Yeah.
right? With which does have rations, it does have all this stuff. So it finds him. Nathan's story is that the boat sank. He didn't see his mother. He gets on the life raft, and then he was out at sea for 7 days, surviving off the rations on his ship.
Yes.
So I mean, there's
So then
definitely a lot that goes.
they get him, then they interview him again. Very similar tendencies to the first interview. Similar theme of wow, like that doesn't seem like somebody whose mom just died. You're sort of like, whoa, this is kind of chilling. He's literally like,
I mean, that's a hallmark of autism is not dealing with
Yeah.
emotions well.
well, the questioning that was chilling to me was it was when they were like, okay, so you noticed there was a leak in the boat, right? Like you noticed that the boat was sinking. Did you tell your mom? And he's like, no.
No, so he
I
said
didn't want her to freak out. No.
he said he noticed the boat was taking on water. He didn't think that the boat was going to sink, and so he told his mom to get up the reels while he tried to remedy the issue,
Yeah.
which
And
is
then-
not a crazy thing. He's lived on the water his entire life. He's experienced.
Right, but that is it. There's nothing after that of okay, so then you realize you're actually sinking and what happened, and it's very much like, I don't know, I was just on the life raft and she was gone.
that was weird because they didn't show any questioning on that really.
Right.
They never really talked about the time frame in between him getting on the life raft and him noticing the water. So it does feel like there was unaccounted time. Maybe
I
they
agree.
didn't include it into the documentary to make it more slanted.
That's my guess, my assumption is that his answer was very either I don't want to
It
answer
probably
this,
made sense.
or no, it was a very I don't want to answer this, or like I don't know. Like
I feel like he
don't
probably
know
gave an answer that made sense that they didn't want to include because they wanted to make it seem like he was guilty.
Joe, so all right, let's skip to it. So
Wait, what? So
he gets found. His mom is dead. I think a day later, he filed an insurance claim for $80,000 on the boat because the boat sank. And also there was reports of them finding there's people that watched them trying to fix the boat before they sailed out. And also
Which is normal.
let's also mention when the boat was found. I think it was like 200 miles further than where
They
he
never
said
found
they
the
were gonna
boat.
go, or where Nathan was found.
Well, yeah, he was drifting out in the ocean for 7 days.
So
They tried making some bullshit claims about the current and the wind patterns and where he should have been, but like they drew all of this data from one buoy that apparently gave him the answers that he was 160 miles from where he should have drifted.
But basically they were much like I'm talking 7 times, 10 times further away than what he claimed, what he told people and she told people they were doing before they left. Before they left, it was just like, 50
Oh, that
miles
is
out,
true.
50
He did
miles
say
back.
that he changed. They changed where the fishing expedition was going to go.
Yes.
That
And
is correct.
he claims that they changed where the fishing expedition was going to go after they got on the boat. So it's literally a conversation between him and his mom being like, I know we said we were just gonna go for like 2 days and like up to this little island and back, but actually let's go for 8 days and let's go out in the middle of nowhere and come back.
They didn't plan for it to be longer by that much longer. Like when you're out in the open sea like that, it would have added like an extra day onto their trip. They were already going like 100 miles. They were just gonna go like 80 miles further.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll give my side of it. That's pretty much all the details. One of the guys in the
And hold on, Joe, we have to stop. We haven't talked about this yet. Like, if you can see lights flashing behind us and like the color changing, we are watching the Eagles game and the Bears game. It's Friday after Thanksgiving.
what's the score?
Dude, the Eagles just got a pick, and then they turned it over right when they got the ball. So then the Bears got it back. So I think, but they scored. AJ Brown scored right before. So I think it's 10 set or 13-10, 13-10, 6-7. But no, I mean I don't know. Well, I don't know. It's commercial right now. I just had to say it because it's very clear.
It's so
on
dark
the
in here.
video, dude. If we ever need to film at night, we can literally just put white screen on my TV and
Can you
film.
see us in the?
It looks so you can tell it's changing. It looks so good, like when it was just like a white ad. But
all right. So, anyways, I'll explain.
sorry to get distracted.
I'll explain why I think that he's innocent. There was a guy, the one of the two guys that was defending him on the documentary. He brought up so many good points. Like, this kid he's really autistic. And like, do you think this kid, so talking about the boat incident, like the claim they were making against him, do you think this kid would have been able to go out there, kill his mom, evade the Coast Guard for 7 days, being back on the shore, take the boat back out, purposefully sink the boat, go out on the life raft, and immediately be able to find a ship to save him? And you think he could have?
Why do you think he had to like take the boat out, bring it back in, bring it back out?
That's what they said on the documentary, because if the boat was still out there, the search radius for the Coast Guard was like a crazy expanse where if he was out in the open water, they would have found him.
Well, what I think happened is he took it way out there and he just sank it, and then he just pushed his mom in the water and then got in the lifeboat.
So you think he was on the life raft for 7 days?
I don't think it had to be 7 days. He could have
that
part is to not be confirmed, because if, to your point, the only data we have is from this one buoy and like it's this one point, and the Coast Guard could have covered that area. I think he could have been fishing out there with a real boat and then just on the way back, done on the way back. So it's like, I don't know if that makes sense, but he goes out there and then it could have been, I think it could have been 2 to 4 days instead of 7 days of him out there.
So the search, so in total, he was out there for 9 days, 2 days on the boat, 7 days on the life raft. The Coast Guard search started after 2 days, and he said he was on the life raft for 7 days. The documentary made a huge point that there was no way he could have been out there for that long because he looked too nourished. He could see too well. He could swim too well after when they found him, all that stuff. But so that's why they made the point that you brought the boat back to shore and then brought it back out. But the search started after 2 days. And the circumference that they showed on the map, unless he drove the boat to like fucking Europe, they would have found him. The search was so expansive.
You can't, dude. It's so hard to find people out there. There's so much. It's miles and miles and miles and miles. Bro.
I agree, but it sounded like there was a tremendous effort to find him. Based on what they were saying on the documentary, it sounded like there was a lot of resources going towards that.
I know, but I was thinking about that too. Like, you're going to drop everything you're doing on the Coast Guard and you're going to send what? That would have, for a good effort, it would probably be like 80 boats.
Yeah. I don't know. That sounds right.
There's no way they have 80 boats to just go search for some autistic kid.
Bro, chill. Yeah.
I'm serious.
He was a rich white guy.
I'm serious though.
They definitely were. No, but I think that they would have found him, and I don't think even if he was trying to go after the inheritance, why would the best way for him to do this to be to drive a boat 200 miles off the mainland, purposely sink it, and then hope that a ship finds him?
So what do you think happened? You think the boat actually sank?
I think the boat sank and he was on the life raft for 7 days like he says.
And what happened to his mom? Didn't make it on the life raft?
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
How?
Because the boat sank. What do you mean?
If
he knew where the life raft was, and he probably went to go find it. Bro, you're thinking of this.
It's a small boat. It's a small fishing boat.
It was a 30-foot boat.
Small boat.
And yeah, I mean, I guess it's a relatively small boat. Like, who knows how the boat sank? Could have tipped, could have went down
Like,
quickly.
if he finds the life raft, he's going to be like, Mom, help me get this life raft out.
He was probably experienced enough to get the life raft out. And you're also thinking about this from like a normal person's perspective, when I definitely think that an autistic person dealing in an incredibly high stress situation probably is not going to function like a normal individual. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you
He
mean.
was probably freaking out and he was probably trying to do his best. And then when it all calmed down, he was probably like, oh, fuck.
Bears up 17-9, by the way.
Damn.
But yeah, all right, here's another sketchy point. Right after the boat sinks and he gets back, I think it was 3 days later, I believe, he files an insurance claim to the boat company for the boat sinking.
So again, I think that could go to his disability, because just hear me out here. If you were going to do all of this to get $12.5 million or whatever it is from your grandpa's inheritance, would an $80,000 insurance claim even be in your mind if your whole plan was to get $12.5 million?
Well, that's the
from
exact
inheritance?
point that I'm making is an $80,000 insurance claim should not be on your mind at all 3 days after your mom is
Because I think he's an autistic
because
person.
you could legitimately file an insurance claim for like wrongful death on that company, which would be millions of dollars versus $80,000.
Well, that they ended up denying the insurance claim altogether because of his repairs
Well,
they made on the boat.
in the doc they said he might not have even got charged if he didn't do the insurance claim because like it didn't
Right, because they had
bring
more
attention to him.
resources
Exactly.
to research into this. So I don't disagree with you, bro. But again, you're thinking about this from a normal person's perspective. This kid is on the spectrum. So all I'm saying there is,
Yeah.
Chris, if this guy's master plan was to get the inheritance from his mom,
Move forward a little.
if his whole plan was to get the inheritance from his mom from his grandfather's estate, and he's getting $12 million, do you think he's going to care about the $80,000 boat policy that could have jeopardized everything?
Well, yeah, but
I
if
think
he's
he
doing
just
this all
wasn't
for
thinking
money, he's going to
correctly.
do whatever he can for more money.
Dude, $80,000 is a drop in the bucket if you're getting 12 million. That's why I think that.
It's a good story. It's a good case. It's very interesting.
To
We gotta
put
talk
a
about
bow on
there's.
it,
Did you know if there's one on Netflix that's pretty big? I forget her name, but she went to Troy High, so we got to talk about that one soon.
yeah, we'll look up. But to put a bow on it, that's why I think the whole thing's kind of shitty. The kid was he was autistic, like I said. His whole family turned on him. Everyone hated him. Then everybody blamed him for 2 deaths, and then he ends up killing himself in his jail cell before the trial.
He does.
So that's why like a lot of this is still very speculative. Nobody was ever charged with anything because all the parties are pretty much dead. So the 3 main characters we told you guys about dead. Everybody blames Nathan. I think that it was a wrong place, wrong time situation for the kid, and he got blamed for 2 things that ended up to him taking his own life.
Yeah, and it's one of those things the world will never know. And in my opinion, it's okay in those scenarios because it's like, what other avenues can you search? What other avenues can you go down? There's really not much more you can go search. But that's going to do it.
Michael Jordan
episode. We hope you guys liked the cozy vibes. It kind of went right with the time of year, Thanksgiving, comfy foods. We went from light outside to cozy dark outside. This is like, I've been thinking in the back of my head, like, dude, we could record on a nighttime during the week sometimes and just put like a white screen in the
just
back.
always have the Bears playing.
Yeah, we just have all the Bears losing on a repeat.
Yeah.
On the screen, but no, we appreciate you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a good time with your family. Hope there was some funny tea type argument that went down that like you get to tell people about. That's what Thanksgiving is all about. You got to have one crazy person in the family. Joe and I will be those people like once we're 65 plus.
I already am.
Yeah, true. But no, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for stopping by. And again, like Joe said, season 1 coming out soon. Big improvements, big things we're doing. Just subscribe. Tell your grandma to subscribe because you know she's got a YouTube, but she doesn't use it. So just like give us that free sub. But
been a few years, but I'm still ice cold.
I'll do it. Love
Stacking
you
up
guys.
this paper, now my wallet won't fold.